What's going on, everybody? We're going to get right into it. SummerSlam 2024 review. Solid show overall. Some of the matches were boring throughout, at least in my opinion, but they told stories and got the job done or did what they need to do. So let's start off with the first match. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the World Women's Championship. Solid match. Not the greatest women's match of all time, but it didn't need to be. It was, to tell the story or to continue the story, and it did that. Back and forth they went throughout this match. Rhea, ended up dislocating her shoulder. Maybe it was kayfabe, but it looked bad. She ends up banging it against the announce table, and Dom's just looking at her like, wow. But, we get later in the match after some good back and forth. Rhea ends up getting the chair that Liv grabbed earlier in the match. It looked like Liv was going to hit Rhea with it, get, a DQ finish, retain her title. She ends up dropping the chair. Rhea picks it up. Dom grabs it from Rhea. Rhea looks at him like, what the hell are you doing? Liv ends up taking advantage, hits a Oblivion, 1-2, kicks out, and then the ref's distracted, and then Dom throws the chair in, points at Liv, and says, Liv, use the chair. Liv ends up doing Oblivion on the chair, retains the title, and Dom and Liv end up making out in the end, and it's over for potentially Judgment Day, and especially Dom and Rhea. This is what I predict. If you guys saw our prediction videos that we did before this, I predicted that Dom was going to screw over Rhea. I just saw all the writing on the wall for that to be the case, and it didn't disappoint. I really enjoyed the story, and it might continue. It looks like it will. Rhea's going to want to kick Dom and Liv's ass, but I think Dom and Liv really make a very good couple on TV. Rhea and Dom did as well, but this is going to be like the new heat heel couple that everybody can't stand, and Rhea's just going to be more over as a babyface after this. So I think this match was really well done, especially for what the end result was of getting Dom and Liv together and Dom screwing Rhea. So Liv retains. I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. I thought she needed to retain this match, and she did. She's going to get a few more months on the title, and it's really cool that she's pinned Rhea the last two times Rhea's gotten pinned. So I think that adds more layers of this story of like, hey, I pinned you both the last two times you've had pinfall losses. So I got that to hang over your head. So really well done on this match. Next match, we had Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. And listen, Braun ended up winning. I'm happy about that. I think Braun really needed to win this match. But for me, this match was disappointing. I'm not sure if they cut it because they didn't really think it needed to go long. But for Sami Zayn to beat Gunther and to beat the Usos title ring, for him to lose, and yeah, it took two Spears to beat Sami, so it ain't like he looked completely weak. But I feel like a match like this should have went on just a little bit longer. Now we don't know what the time was, and obviously the main event went a while, and Gunther and Priest went a while, and all that. So maybe they just didn't have the time to give this a long, amount of time for in-ring work. But the end result, like the first match, is what they need to do. A lot of decisions Triple H made on this show were great when it came to end results. Could some of the matches have been a little bit better in-ring work wise? Yes. But when it comes to WWE, I kind of know what to expect when it comes to in-ring work. It's not going to be what you get in AEW or New Japan or TNA, and that's fine. That's not what WWE is known for. They're known for telling stories, and that's what they did on this pay-per-view. But Braun Breaker gets his big moment. Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner were in the crowd along with his girlfriend, so good moment for him. I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan. I think he's the future of this damn company. So this is just the beginning for him. Not the best match, but the end result is what it needed to be. So next match we had LA Knight, against Logan Paul, and this match was pretty solid. They did what they needed to do. LA Knight's obviously not known for his in-ring work. Him and Logan Paul went back and forth for a while. They both worked their asses off. That's all you can ask for in a match like this. They went at it back and forth, had some cool moves being done. Logan Paul was showing off. He was getting a lot of heel chants from the crowd. F you, Logan. You suck. Obviously, some of the comments he's been making recently, as most of y'all know, has not been helping his case. Maybe that played a role in him losing, or maybe the plan was always for LA Knight to win. But much needed win for LA Knight. He's really need to get a win like this. He's been in a lot of title matches or important feuds. He just hasn't really won a lot. And I was worried, like I said in the prediction video, of WWE maybe waiting too long to pull the trigger on an LA Knight, title win. But this is the perfect time to do it. Logan Paul's reign just wasn't good. He had 3 title defenses in a long period of time. Just wasn't good. It was just kind of just to get more publicity on the title. guess they did that, but from a title defense standpoint, it's not a very good reign. So LA Knight gets his moment. Good for him. The match they would need to do. I thought Logan Paul was going to win when he hit him with the brass knucks. I was like, oh, shit, here we go again. But LA Knight hit his finisher, 1, 2, 3. Despite the interference, despite Machine Gun Kelly being there, he gets the job done. Yeah, LA Knight for the win. Solid match. So the next match, listen, I didn't have a lot of hope for this match. Nia Jax against Bayley for the women's championship. I'm just not the biggest Nia Jax fan, but I thought this match was pretty solid. Like, wasn't a classic or nothing, but these two women worked their asses off. They had some cool back and forth moments. Nia, you know, Bayley took her off her feet a few times, hit a Bayley to belly. I was obviously in a PlayStation party, and we all had a big pop for that because we didn't think we were even going to see her hit a Bayley to belly on Nia Jax. That ended up happening. So good moment there. And then Nia Jax hit her finisher, kick out from Bayley. So they both look strong. And that's really all I ask for in a wrestling match is good work quality and both looking strong. I'm not a fan of somebody dominating a whole entire match. Now, some might like that. I've just never been a fan. I like seeing back and forth, down to the wire, championship on the line, both looking strong. And Bayley and Nia both look strong in this match. So no complaints there for me. Tiffany Stratton came out. I actually thought for a second maybe she's going to cash in just to tease. Hopefully they don't do what they did with Priest and have her tease, 10, 15 times she's going to cash in because WWE under the Triple H regime and even under Vince had a tendency of doing that. So we'll see how they go with that. But Nia Jax ends up hitting her finisher 2 more times on Bayley, gets the win. Nia wins the championship. She won the Queen of the Ring tournament to get this opportunity, and she gets it. So good for her. Not the biggest fan, but it was a moment I didn't really expect. I thought Bayley was going to retain or maybe a Stratton cash in would happen, and neither one of those happened. We'll see how long they go with this Stratton and Nia friendship before maybe Tiffany cashes in on her. I think that's probably what they're going to end up going with, and that's the direction I think's right. I mean, it's going to get probably Tiffany over as a babyface if I had to guess. Maybe they keep her a heel, but Nia just comes across as more of a heel and a potential feud between the two. So we'll see how that goes. But all in all, solid match between these two women. So next match, we had CM Punk against Drew McIntyre with Seth frickin' Rollins as a special guest referee. And this match did what the Rhea and Liv match did. It told a story. We obviously know the beef between Rollins and Punk. Rollins and Drew have their beef. And then the main beef is obviously Punk and Drew. And they were kind of telling a little bit of a all three kind of story. Obviously, Punk and Drew went for some pins. Rollins wasn't counting quick enough, they felt like. So they were getting in his face saying, like, yo, man, what the hell are you doing? Why are you not counting? We had him pinned. That was a 3 count. So there was a lot of bickering back and forth between Rollins and those two. At times, I did feel like they made it more about Rollins than the match. And obviously, Rollins' pants that he was wearing really took a lot of the attention in this match. As y'all saw, I was reading some comments on Bleacher Report of people like saying, like, man, I can't even focus on this match. Rollins is wearing them bright-ass pants. So, but, they continued the story with the bracelet with Punk's dog and AJ Lee's name on the bracelet. Drew was wearing it. He looked at it, took it off Drew's wrist. And then Rollins ended up getting it later in the match. Punk, hit a GTS, was looking at Rollins like, wait, what the hell are you doing with the wristband? So they get into it. He ends up hitting a GTS on Rollins. He gets knocked out, and then he gets distracted again. Drew hits a Claymore, pins him, 1, 2, 3. A much needed win for Drew. I know there's fans who might say Punk needed this win a little bit more, but how much he's been screwing Drew after every moment he's had, I think this is a good win for Drew. And it seems like at the next pay-per-view, they're going to do a triple threat between these two. That seems like the appropriate thing to do. This match did what it needed to do, told a story. The in-ring work was solid. Punk looked a little gassed, but he's going to look a little gassed when he hasn't wrestled since the Rumble at the beginning of the year. So that was expected. But this match was good. Solid match between the two. I haven't been a fan of the way they went about this. I wasn't a fan of the Money in the Bank. I get it. Gunther and Cody were going to be your champions. You didn't want to have somebody cash in on them. I understand that, but I just wasn't a fan of having Drew get screwed again by Punk. It just made us get repetitive. Hopefully they're done with all that. But this feud is definitely going to continue into a triple threat, and that's fine. That's really what the bottom line of this feud's been. These three just hate each other, just want to kill each other, and they're going to potentially do that inside of Hell in a Cell, and that makes this that much better. So Drew gets the win over Punk. Rollins is still involved heavily in this feud, and we'll see what the direction is going forward. So next match was probably match of the night. You could argue the main event was, but if you go off in-ring work, Priest and Gunther was fantastic. This was the match I really was looking forward to the most for the world title, and they beat the hell out of each other throughout this match. Gunther's whole chest was bleeding from chops. They were trading strikes, big moves, a lot of good counters, high impact maneuvers. If you love professional wrestling and two guys who are known for their work and just beating the hell out of each other, and you haven't watched this pay-per-view, please go watch this match. It was awesome. And they went at it for a while. And eventually Finn Balor comes out. And that's another thing I predicted, that Finn was going to screw Priest. Most of us probably couldn't have predicted that, especially after earlier in the night where he just came and grabbed Finn by the shirt and said, "Did you know Liv was going to get with Dom, or Dom was going to get with Liv," and all that. And Finn was like, "What the hell is your problem?" and all that. So it was set up for a while that this was going to happen. And it's the perfect feud. Now, who does Gunther feud with going forward? We'll have to see. But we're definitely getting a new version of Judgment Day. Maybe like a JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Liv, and Dom. Not sure if Carlito fits in that mix. Maybe he does. But it seems like Priest and Rhea are turning babyface, and they're definitely going to be out of Judgment Day. And, Judgment Day deserves a lot of credit. They have really been one of the more interesting groups outside the Bloodline, obviously. And they give Raw its own feel, and Bloodline gives SmackDown their own feel. So when you watch both shows, from a storyline perspective, you're like, okay, I got the Judgment Day to look forward to on Raw, and I got the Bloodline to look forward to on SmackDown. Two groups with a lot of layers of storytelling, rivalries, everything else. So a Finn and Priest feud, I'm all for it. I've been saying for a while that's the direction they need to go. And Rhea, Liv feud within Judgment Day, and Dom, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see where they go from here. This was the right choice, though. There were a lot of fans who wanted Priest to retain, but Gunther needed to win. I mean, him losing a back-to-back pay-per-views with how dominant he's been would not have made sense, in my opinion. So having him win this, he'll hold the title for a good period of time. We'll have to see how long of a reign they give him. I'm guessing him and Cody are going to hold the titles at least till WrestleMania, maybe beyond. We'll have to see who they end up feuding with. But great match. Best match of the night in ring work-wise. Both these guys had a spectacular performance. Priest didn't have nothing go wrong. I was happy to see that, because Priest has had some bad luck and some bad moments with not kicking out. Maybe he was knocked out in the ankle. And then, this is just good to see Priest have a good wrestling match with not a lot of negativity around it. These guys did their job. Excellent match. So final match. Sorry, I just switched the banner real quick. Cody against Solo for the WWE title. Now, I didn't have a lot of high expectations for this match. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't really think this sounded like a SummerSlam main event. Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa. I just thought, okay, they're just doing this to set Reigns coming out. And obviously that happened later on, as you guys know. But I thought this match was actually really good from a work perspective. Like, they hit some good moves. They really, had good chemistry in the ring. The first half of this match was actually pretty damn good. I didn't expect Solo to be that good of a worker. I didn't really think of Solo as a great worker. I haven't seen him do a whole lot in the ring. And this match, he showed out a little bit. Did a spinning, like Luke Harper. I forgot what the move's called. It's Luke Harper's old finish where he does like a spinning, like slam. He did that. I haven't seen him do that. So I was impressed with both these guys' work. They went at it. Obviously, we knew Bloodline rules, so there was going to be a lot of interference. Really liked Arn Anderson being back in WWE. Obviously, him and Cody are very close, and he gave Cody a good pep talk. You're the champion. We got friends to back you up tonight if you need it. Some you already know, some you might not. So really well done. Cody's entrance at the beginning was badass with his dog and coming out of the Cody truck and everything. So beginning of the match, mid-match, good. And then obviously we knew that the Bloodline was going to start interfering. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa end up coming out. They attack Cody. They hit their finisher. They start beating the shit out of him. And then here comes Kevin Owens, one of my favorites, the KO show. He comes out, starts beating the hell out of those two, throwing punches. And then he gets taken down by Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. And now comes the Viper, Randy Orton. He comes and kicks some ass, RKOs him. And then Solo ends up taking him out. Or no, excuse me. Solo gets taken out by all three of them, and then out comes Jacob Fatu. Now, Jacob Fatu, we all know how good he is. He takes them all out. Or no, I'm botching this right now. Okay. So they end up fighting to the crowd. I misstepped. I apologize. So the Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa fight KO and Randy outside the ring. I kept thinking it was the last pay-per-view. That's my mistake. But those four end up fighting into the crowd. Cody goes for the triple crossroads. He hits two of them. And then here comes Jacob Fatu. He attacks Cody, destroys Cody, hits the Whisper in the Wind, the moonsault. We all know how good athlete he is. And he puts Cody on the announce table, does a frog splash or a Uso splash or Jacob Fatu splash, whatever you want to call it. And he looks like he messes up his ankle. Now, I don't know if this was kayfabe or if this was really him messing up his ankle. Didn't look like it was a bad landing when he landed on Cody on the announce table, but he might have, landed wrong on his ankle, maybe his leg. He was grabbing his leg. He couldn't get up. He was throwing chairs. Might have been kayfabe. Hopefully it is, because he just got there, and for him to have an injury like this, now we don't know the severity of the injury, but for him to have an injury like this would really suck, especially when he has so much momentum going his way. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully it was just him selling. We'll have to know more updates as we go. But that ends up happening. Solo ends up taking advantage, throwing Cody in the ring, and then out comes Roman Reigns. It looks like he's got a little bit of a different theme song now, more badass at the beginning. It looks like it's more like of a different beat in the beginning. Obviously, Reigns is going to come back as a babyface. We all knew that. He ends up costing Solo and helping his former enemy, Cody, retain the title that he beat him for. He looks at Cody, points to his shirt. Cody looks like he's in shock, like, this guy just helped me out here. So Cody retains. Very good main event. Definitely went above my expectations when it comes to a main event. Reigns is back. It's going to be curious how much more layers they got with this bloodline rivalry. Didn't see Jimmy Uso come back. A lot of fans thought he was going to come back. Maybe him and Jay come out in some way or another. They didn't. So we'll have to see, if the Usos get back with Reigns in the next few weeks or months. Obviously, it looks like they're going for a War Games bloodline, new versus old bloodline. So we'll see what happens. But Cody retains. Now, there were a lot of fans that thought Solo should have won and him and Reigns should have feuded for the title. That feud doesn't really need the title. It already has so much history and layers to it. And Solo saying he's a new tribal chief and Reigns is the original tribal chief. And Solo took out Paul Heyman. Like, you don't need the championship for that. So I think it's good enough how it is. And all in all, I give this pay-per-view. Now, there were some matches that were disappointing, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10. The last two matches, Cody and Solo and Gunther and Priest, the two world title matches, really helped it for me. I thought both those matches were great. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. What's the best SummerSlam ever? No. Are there a lot of matches I'll go back and watch on this show? Maybe. But, the endings were the only ending I didn't expect is Nia Jax winning. Every other match, most probably could have predicted. But all in all, a great show. So what do you guys think? What did you guys think of SummerSlam? Let me know in the comments what match stood out. Were there anything that made you angry that you didn't expect or just made you mad? And what was your favorite match? So let me know in the comments below. It's been a pleasure. Peace.